Good morning, y'all. I'm working on making some envelopes for my Sunflowers and Dors design team project using her new sunflower kit that's available in her Etsy shop. These are the small envelopes that come with the kit, and I've already put those together. And this is the large envelope. So I'm going to show you how I put these together. Now, I have already inked these up with Distress Oxide ink in Vintage Photo. And you can choose which way you want to close these envelopes up, which direction you want them to go in. I'm going to use it this way, but I want to cover the inside with something instead of just inking it. So I'm going to go back to my yellow paper pads, and I'm going to cover this with a piece of that paper pad. To make it easier to work with, I'm going to fold the two side flaps back like this. That way I don't get glue where I don't want glue. I'm going to start with the top flap and go ahead and get some glue on there. And then you'll see me kind of guesstimate where I think the paper is going to fall. I've decided to turn it this way where I can figure out how far down I need to glue. I'm going to put quite a bit of glue where that fold line is because I want it to hold really well there when I fold this. And then I'm just going to put my paper in place. I use shop towels that I buy in a huge box. I cut them in half, and I use those because they're really soft and I can press on this thin paper without tearing it. Now I'm just going to trim around this, and make sure when you're trimming up around those flaps that you don't cut through the flap of your envelope. Okay, I'm going to bend this flap back so that I can ink this up. Bending that back just helps define that fold line a little better when you're inking. Now notice my paper didn't go all the way to the bottom, and that's okay because once we glue this envelope closed, you're not going to see the bottom of that paper. Just going to put a little bit of glue, gauging where I need it. Put a little bit of glue on this flap. Glue that closed. And then I will glue the bottom flap closed. And now you can see why I said you won't see the bottom of that paper. So your paper doesn't have to go all the way to the bottom. Okay, and there's the envelope. And I want to make something, I want to put something on the front of it because it's a little bit, a little bit plain compared to the rest of the journal. So I'm going to cut this piece out of this page I've been working off of. I'm going to use my corner rounder around these corners, and then I'll ink this piece up. I have this piece of notepad paper sitting here, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. And I'm just working out where I'm going to place this piece on the paper. Sorry, I think my camera shifted at some point because I did have this focused all the way to the bottom edge of my desk, and obviously you're not seeing the bottom edge of my desk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a frame around the image from the kit using that notepad paper. So I'm going to leave a little bit of an edge around the original image, cut around it, and then I will also round those corners and ink around that. This paper is flimsy, so if you'll hold your finger back behind it and kind of use it as a guide, it'll help not bend the paper as you're inking it. Now I'm just going to glue this piece into place. Okay, the envelope is finished. I'm happy with this. Now I want to make something to put inside of the envelope. Now I did print a page that had two pockets. One I used on the inside cover of the journal. The other I didn't use, but I backed it onto some book page, and I'm just going to make a little journaling card to fit in this envelope. So I'm going to cut it down. I was gauging the size that I needed. So I'm just going to cut this into a square. This is typical me. I use a lot of pieces from kits that weren't originally meant for what I use them for. Just want to try to use everything up that I print though. So this is a good way, and there are journal kit makers who very much approve of people doing this. You want to use as much of what you print up as possible, so you're not wasting paper, you're not wasting ink, you're not printing extra pages just because there's a square on it that you want to use. So cutting down pages and cutting maybe pockets into journaling cards and things like that. Don't be afraid to do this. Adapting these kits to your own style or your own taste is what makes a journal unique to you as a creator or as an artist or as a crafter. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So do not feel as if you have to use every piece in the kit exactly as it's meant to be used. Okay, these journals are yours. These kits, once you purchase them, are yours to do with as you please. Obviously, you want to follow the terms of use for each digital kit that you purchase. Please make sure you go and read the terms of use before you purchase. Make sure you follow those directions because copyright law is a real thing. But this is exactly how you make things unique to you, and how there are 10 people who can make a journal, but all 10 of those journals, even using the same digital printable kit, will be completely different. Okay, now this will slide into this envelope, and it's all coordinated with the look of the journal that I'm currently working on. So I'm going to pick a page, and I'm just going to clip this envelope in with a colored paper clip. Now I'm going to work on something to put into the two smaller envelopes that were included in the kit. Again, I'm using pieces from this page that I've been working off of. I've already backed them onto book page, so I'm just going to trim around those a little bit. I'm just working that paper a little bit because it curled when it dried, because I didn't put anything on top of it when it was wet so that it would lay flat. So if you just kind of flex your pages a little bit and rub them, bend them back a little bit, they'll flatten out. Again, grabbing another sheet. Well, this is a piece of a sheet. This is the sheet that I just used to back that other piece. I'm going to go ahead and use this to back these cards onto. I'm using a little bit of extra glue on these pieces because I didn't fully cut them out. I could have used less glue if I'd have went ahead and cut them out, but I'm skipping a few steps. Just pressing that paper into place really well, because I'm going to be doing quite a bit of cutting on these to get them to the size that I need to fit into these little envelopes. So I'm just going to measure my little envelopes, and then when I cut my cards down, I'm going to cut them down 1/8 of an inch smaller than my envelope so that they fit inside of the envelope and my flap closes nicely. So I will begin to trim around these and get these guys cut down. Now here I know I'm going to lose part of the image. I'm just trying to decide which part to lose. And I decide to cut the bottom of this one off. Grab my corner rounder and round the corners on these 2 cards. Now I'm going to ink them to match the rest of the journal. And I'm going to fold them in half to make little note cards. Again, I highly recommend that if you have the time, let these dry before you fold them. Sometimes it will crinkle the inside crease of your little card when you've backed it onto the thin paper. Sometimes that will crinkle on the inside. Luckily, this didn't happen to me. Just ink up that edge, and then these will slide into these envelopes. And then I'll take these little envelopes and clip these into the journal. Fold up this second one and get it inked. And they make cute little note cards. Very simple, but stinking cute. And then choose where you want to put it in your journal. This time I chose to use the dark green paper clips. Thanks for watching, y'all. I hope you guys have a good day.